Each and every one of us has an unlimited inner wellspring of spiritual power. You have the ability to transform, create, and heal anything upon which you set your heart and mind. Join me, Sarah Hall, as we learn how to uplift all aspects of your life through spiritual empowerment. Enjoy weekly guided meditations, spiritual discussions on a multitude of topics, and a chance to call in to receive channeled messages from the angels on your spiritual journey. I'm Sarah Hall, and this is Through the Eyes of the Angels. Hi, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me. Today, we are going to be talking about empathy from a spiritual perspective, from the perspectives that the angels would give us as empathy functions in our collective spiritual consciousness. According to the angels, empathy is an important function of our united consciousness because when we are in a state of empathy, we are aware of our shared life force, of our shared spiritual consciousness, the reality that we are truly one being. Empathy plays a profound role in the spiritual evolution of our consciousness towards greater realization of that oneness, and through that realization, manifesting global healing and peace. Now, before we go ahead and dive into the angels' messages on that, I wanted to share a little bit more with you about empathy. What is empathic consciousness truly? How does empathy function? And what is its purpose? Okay, so I know a lot of you listening consider yourselves to be empaths. So let's go ahead and start there. What is an empath? And how do you know if you are an empath? So an empath is someone who experiences a high degree of empathy as an overarching, somewhat constant experience in their lives. An empath is highly sensitive to emotions, thoughts, and spiritual energies. That sensitivity makes it so that an empath is constantly picking up on the energies around them, almost like a psychic, emotional sponge. Now, all people have the capacity to experience empathy, which is, of course, to understand another person's experiences from within their perspective. But an empath sort of takes this one step farther. An empath experiences empathy to the degree that they feel others' feelings and perspectives as if they were truly their own experiences. Oftentimes, an empath has a difficult time distinguishing their own feelings from the feelings of others because an empath is so sensitive and aware of the feelings around them that they don't often filter out others' feelings and differentiate them from their own experience. I know that if you're an empath listening to this might sound familiar to you. You might be thinking, yes, and all of this sensitivity is overwhelming for me. I hear that so often, especially in a world that tends to kind of overstimulate us already with the constant barrage of media, electronic devices, and the expectation of much of the world's culture to constantly be doing or working, pushing forward. But I want you to know that your empathic sensitivity is actually a gift. Empathic consciousness is actually an important spiritual gift that, as I mentioned, is playing an important role in the global spiritual awakening of humanity. And that's exactly why the angels guided me to share on this topic today. Because there are so many empaths out there who feel overwhelmed with sensitivity and haven't yet learned how to hone and balance it so that they can use it as the powerful gift that it is. Now, if you're not sure whether or not you're an empath, there are a few ways that you can tell. So let's talk about that. The hallmark of empathic consciousness is sensitivity. Now, what's sensitivity? Sensitivity is a state of being in which you are basically more highly aware of the reality around you. Sensitivity is an expanded state of awareness in which you're picking up on the physical, emotional, and mental states of reality around you. Now, for all human beings, we are actually always picking up on all the states of reality around us all the time, all of those emotional, mental, physical impressions. But an empath is more aware of this, more sensitive to it. Their senses are flooded with this energetic absorption, and they're processing so much of that information at a more conscious degree, not filtering or deferring quite as much of that information out to the unconscious mind as others naturally do. And with empathic consciousness, you can be sensitive at any level of being, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Some are sensitive at all of those levels of being. Some maybe just at one or two of those levels of being. The sensitivity that you experience at those different levels is just going to vary from individual to individual, depending on who you are and your experiences. But generally, you can tell that you're likely an empath if, number one, you experience mental and emotional sensitivity to other states of being, especially in your closest relationships. This emotional mental sensitivity is the most common form of sensitivity that I see among empaths. They're so aware of others' feelings, so aware that they want to please others. They want everyone around them to be comfortable and at peace. They're super dialed into their relationships and very sensitive to emotion within the relationship. Sometimes this high sensitivity to others' feelings causes empaths to become more introverted because they find that they need to be selective about how much of that strong information and energy from others they absorb. They maybe need time to get used to it or take breaks from people in order to clear it and let it go. Number two, empaths also commonly experience physical sensitivity. This can be physical sensitivity to intense sensory stimuli, such as loud sounds, bright lights, or big crowds. And in this case, the empath is really experiencing a strong energy overwhelm from all of the energetic input. And maybe they're feeling it again physically in the body. Or physical sensitivity can translate to sensitivity to certain foods, especially those that are not natural, toxins in foods or in their cleaning products or hygiene products or toxins in the environment. Or sensitivity to mood-altering substances like caffeine, alcohol, and so forth. And the reason for this, according to the angels, is that an empath is basically processing a higher degree of awareness of the whole web of life. So when we eat something that doesn't serve our body, we feel how this affects our relationship with our body and with the whole web of life. We feel, in other words, that we're not in alignment with the earth, with our health, which is the same as the earth's health in some way. And the whole of empath's being begins to speak up about that, strongly telling you not to consume with or relate with that unhealthy thing, so that you can be in alignment with the earth and with your health, therefore, as we are meant to be. And that's quite a gift, that our consciousness, when more in tune with and aware of our unity with all, can tell us when we're not in alignment with the earth, our natural environment, or with our bodies, or with other species even. Physical sensitivity is often giving us information, telling us a story all about that, about what's occurring at that level, helping us to get back into alignment with it. Because your body is a piece of the earth. It holds some of the earth's own wisdom, its own instincts and knowledge. And an empath is, again, more highly, wholly aware. So they're more aware of that, of how the body is trying to pull us back into that alignment. And number 3, an empath can also commonly experience spiritual sensitivity. For example, feeling the presence of spiritual beings, feeling the spiritual energy of another person or a deceased loved one, or being very energetically reactive to spiritual practices. So for example, if your state of being easily changes, you feel a big energy shift when doing things like meditation, energy healing work, or other spiritual practices, or even a big shift in energy and emotion when listening to music or connecting with art, then you're experiencing a form of spiritual sensitivity. Essentially, empaths easily entrain to the energetic frequencies around them. To entrain simply means to shift to match the vibrational frequencies that are around you. In other words, when your energy vibrationally moves or changes to match the energy of your environment. But what most empaths actually don't realize is that the tendency towards energy entrainment is actually a two-way street. According to the angels, not only are empaths easily changed by outer energies, but we also have the power to change the energies around us very significantly. And we do this by grounding very strongly in our own energy, anchoring with a warrior strength into the vibration that we choose, and then broadcasting that out. When empaths realize that they can do this, when they step into their real power, their abilities to heal, lead, teach, guide, or simply stand strong in their own radiant peace and well-being, empaths can move mountains. Empaths, because of this ability to entraining the energy around us to match the peace that we wish to hold, this actually makes empaths excellent leaders, despite that many of us feel introverted due to our high sensitivity. And that leadership, according to the angels, can change the world. An empath's leadership can be expressed in an infinite variety of ways depending on the empath's personal calling. For example, some empaths feel called to heal, some to teach, some to be artists or parents or writers or therapists, or to give in their communities in some way. But no matter the unique individual calling of the empath, according to the angels, all empaths have a united spiritual purpose to accelerate empathy in the human race. As empathy accelerates, as it expands and becomes deeper and more common for all, we reach deeper levels of potential to heal and manifest a world of peace. And according to the angels, that shift towards a tipping point where there's more empathy in the world is inevitable. It's inevitable because the world is being flooded with more and more souls who are ready to plug right into that more highly aware empathic consciousness. If you're listening to this today, I have a feeling you very well might be an empath to some level or degree. And there are so many people just like you. And again, nothing can stop you once you step into your power. And that power changes the world. Empaths have a unique depth to their ability to understand human emotions, experiences, and needs because they're so dialed in to those experiences, to the energies, to the feelings of others, to the whole spectrum of human experience. And because of that depth in understanding those things, they're also uniquely adept at teaching and modeling that understanding, that compassionate awareness for others. And that's just what the world needs in so many ways. According to the angels, empathic consciousness is highly evolved spiritual consciousness because, again, essentially, it is the state of awareness that has more closely realized that all conscious beings are one. Again, we all share in one divine mind. And the drive of empathic consciousness is to live and affect the world in such a way that is truly healthy, supportive, and nurturing of all, not just of the individual, but of all. And an empath also realizes that the health and well-being of an individual is truly the health and well-being of all. Empathic consciousness is an instinct to live from the awareness of our oneness and to live healthfully and harmoniously in that oneness. And guess what? That harmony and peace, according to the angels, truly is possible at a global level for us. Despite that popular belief would have us thinking that there is a lack in how much goodness and support is out there. According to the angels, there is really an unlimited supply of well-being, support, and nurturing for all. There's a natural way for all beings, in other words, to live in a simultaneous state of fulfillment, health, support, and peace. And empathic consciousness is essentially the instincts that are guiding us to awaken, to understand, and manifest just that. And that's the spiritual evolution of our consciousness, awakening to that awareness. Now, how does empathy exactly achieve that? Well, not only are empaths called to share their empathic perspective through their outer work and overall impact, but also, and most commonly, we're called to bring empathic consciousness into our relationships. Relationships are what I like to call ground zero for where the most impactful spiritual growth occurs in life. And empaths function uniquely in their relationships. You see, because empaths are so sensitive to other states of being and usually very invested and aware of how connected they are to another, that they're often called to do important spiritual work through their relationships. Empaths are capable of firstly getting very close to others. Strong emotional sensitivity does that. It makes way for deep emotional understanding of another person and the ability to express and share your emotional truth too. So that mutual understanding then creates an intimacy. It draws people together. So then when fears, defenses, blockages, or other problems arise in the relationship, as they do pretty much in all relationships in some way, you see, because so long as fear exists in the human collective, it will be faced by the individual and therefore also faced in relationships. When that fear arises, empaths, because of the deep intimacy, that deep seeing and knowing, they have a unique way of feeling, exploring, and understanding the problem, understanding the fear and its roots and its functioning very deeply. They're able to help to lead everyone involved in the relationship into a greater possibility to then release that fear, to be conscious of it, and therefore not identified within it, but stepping back from it and conscious that it is there. When you're aware that you are afraid, you are not completely identified with and absorbed in the state of fear. You have stepped outside of it. And you can use that greater understanding to transcend it, which opens up greater levels of love within relationships. That intimate person-to-person relationship work, that's where some of an empath's greatest life purpose work is actually completed. An empath's highest calling, therefore, we could say, is to hold space for the consciousness of love. And that's exactly what an empath is so instinctually drawn to do, to hold space for the consciousness of love. We feel amazing and healthy and balanced and good when we are holding space for the consciousness of love. And we feel overwhelmed and sick and afraid and off balance when we're not doing that, because our instincts are so loud and clear. Unity consciousness, that awareness of our unity that empaths have, is a natural magnet for the forces of love, because love is the exact force that unifies us. It's what strengthens everyone's awareness of our oneness and brings us into mutual harmony and peace. So that's what empathic consciousness is drawn towards the most instinctually, the consciousness of love. Now, how do we hold space for love? Well, empaths are a bit like spiritual warriors. You see, because they're so sensitive, in other words, so open and vulnerable to the world's energies, and yet at the same time, also passionately called not to shrink with overwhelm in the face of that sensitivity. That makes them warriors. If you can achieve that, there's a great strength. And that, I know, from many empaths might seem like a challenging task, to be so open and aware and sensitive and vulnerable, and yet not to shrink in that, to hold your power, hold your strength, hold the vibration that you are called to hold. Rather than entrain down to the level of the world's maybe fear or discord that you might witness, or any other vibrations that you meet externally, an empath is called, like a warrior, to strongly hold our own vibration of well-being. Because your sensitivity uniquely empowers you to know exactly what it takes to be in a state of harmonious well-being. That's what your sensitivity is doing. It's loudly screaming at you all the time. This is how you stand in alignment and well-being. And again, you feel good when you are in that alignment, and you don't feel so good when you're not in that alignment. So you can thank your sensitivity for that. It's giving you the most valuable, powerful information in the world. We are called to hold our vibration of well-being and broadcast it out with unwavering strength, with almost, we could say, stubborn rootedness and power, no matter what. So that as we hold space for the vibration of love, unity, and our well-being, we expand its presence in the world. We make it the standard. We send it out into the collective. We model it, we share it, and make it more accessible, therefore, for the collective all around us. All of us are doing this each time we honor and prioritize love. Whether that is self-love, the value of love in a relationship, communal or societal values of love, and so forth. Each time we hold the consciousness of love, we choose it and anchor it, we're expanding its power in the world. And we help it to clear the suffering that illusions of fear and suffering and separation bring. And I know that that's not always easy. For so many empaths that I have met and worked with, at first it seems hard to be a leader in upholding love. This is because most empaths have experienced challenges and traumas throughout their lives. And that's, a fairly common human experience to have had, a few traumatic things that we've been through. As a result of their high sensitivity, many empaths can easily become, again, overwhelmed by the intense energies of the world. Their highly compassionate hearts can sometimes feel a little bit defeated or disheartened when we then see the suffering on this planet. And of course, also feel it to the nth degree. And maybe it seems too big for us to fix as we want to, as our instincts want us to deep down. Empaths are also exceptionally nurturing personalities that sometimes get them stuck, and I've seen this over and over again, in relationship imbalances, including codependency, rescuing patterns, imbalanced giving and receiving, or having low or unhealthy boundaries with others. Empaths can meet challenges like this because they have a consciousness that is new, unique, and leading edge in a world that still exists at the old threshold of consciousness. So in other words, you've got this high sensitivity that's ready to plug in to alignment with peace and well-being, but you're plugging into a world that maybe isn't quite there yet in many places and in many experiences that you'll meet. So in other words, a lot of empaths will then feel different. They feel like a fish out of water. They feel different, and they're experiencing these challenges because of their unique perspective. Sometimes this makes empaths feel disempowered. Sometimes it makes them feel less than capable of fulfilling their dreams to share their light and uplift the world. This common reality that so many empaths face is exactly why I have decided to teach you about this today, and why I've been called by my angels to help heal and empower empaths. You see, empaths are capable of balancing their sensitivity such that it does not overwhelm them. You would not have been given these gifts, you would have not achieved this level of sensitivity if it were not possible for you to stand in alignment with well-being and to strongly anchor and root into that peace and to radiate it out in the world. All empaths must learn to nurture their sensitivity properly by fulfilling their deeper needs, those deeper needs that the sensitivity is communicating to you. They must also learn to hold healthy boundaries with others. That is key. And to remain strongly grounded in their own energy. And then when an empath accomplishes these things, they're able to change the world. They can stand in their power, they can shine their light, they can fill their purposes, they can be leaders. And that's exactly what I'm going to be helping empaths learn how to do, by the way, in my upcoming Empaths Empowerment course. If you've been following along with me on social media, you'll know that I've been sharing and posting about this recently. So in case you are an empath, who feels called to heal, you feel like this sounds like you, and you feel like you're ready to step into your full spiritual empowerment, then I do have good news for you. In a few days, I'm going to be opening up my new course, and I'll be accepting a small group of empaths to work with throughout the month of August. I actually did time this healing work so that it would commence around the Lion's Gate. The Lion's Gate is a powerful astrological alignment that increases the energy flow between the spiritual and physical world. This gateway is marked by an alignment between the Earth and the star Sirius. So as the star Sirius rises in the sky, Orion's belt directly aligns with the Pyramid of Giza in Egypt. And from our perspective in the Earth, it appears that Sirius comes closer to the Earth. And all of that, it opens up a beautiful, beautiful energetic effect that actually lasts throughout the whole of August. It begins on August 8th, 8/8, and then that energetic flow continues. So I'm super, super excited to be channeling the angels' healing work for empaths and connecting with fellow empaths throughout that time. I really can't wait for that. So again, if this resonates with you, and if you're someone who feels called to join me on that healing journey, then you can actually access my early access waiting list, where you can sign up for the course a day before the regular public through the link that I'll share in the chat right now. I just sent you that right there. Very good. And then if you join the link, again, I'm going to be sending you registration for the course a day before I release it to the public so that you can increase your chances of getting in. I'm only taking a small group to start with. And I'll also leave you the link to my Empaths Empowerment video series in case you'd like to just learn more about this right now. You want to learn more about empaths and about the steps, the process to healing and reclaiming your power. And again, remember that, and there's a link for you in the chat right there. Remember again that this is important work. You know, if you've been wondering, what is my purpose? I want to step into my power, or I want to fulfill my purpose. This is a way that you can do it. The first step to fulfilling your purpose is healing yourself, is stepping into your own power first. All of the power, all of the spiritual gifts that you'll ever interact with, you're ever going to share out into the world, come to you must filter through your own consciousness, your own spirit. So when we heal your psyche, we heal your belief system, we heal your spirit, it creates an open, powerful channel for you to express and share your spiritual gifts clearly. You know, again, to stand in your power, to fulfill your purpose, to stand in your leadership. Compassion and empathy are the most powerful forces in making a love-based change on this planet. It's the fuel and the drive behind our spiritual growth. And I have a feeling that if you were guided to these messages today, then perhaps you're being called to awaken your role in expanding that on this earth. So, to honor and awaken your empathic consciousness today, let's go ahead and come together for our guided meditation with the angels. If you are in a nice environment to do so, I invite you to take just a moment to get nice and relaxed. And then when your body feels good and relaxed, I want you to close your eyes. And then start by taking in some nice, relaxing, deep breaths. As you breathe slowly and deeply in, feel and see as the angels begin to channel a soft rainbow-colored light towards you. Inhale the rainbow light through your crown chakra at the top of your head, and also through your third eye at the center of your forehead. Draw the rainbow light in through these energy centers. Inhaling it down through the head region, relaxing the jaw, relaxing the throat muscles and the shoulders, and feeling as that beautiful rainbow light creates a direct stream on your breath down into your heart and belly. As you breathe, notice your heart chakra and your solar plexus chakra, the energy center in your belly, filling with rainbow light. Each time you inhale, gather that beautiful rainbow light in. And with each exhale, send that rainbow light down, letting it flow easily through the extremities of your body, down the arms, out the fingertips, down through the sacral and root chakras at the bottom of the spine, down through the legs and the feet, streaming easily out into the earth. Rainbow light is an ethereal light that nurtures your sensitivity. It is light that contains the whole spectrum in a perfect, harmonious state. Breathe full spectrum forces of life in, allowing that rainbow light to nurture each of your needs with the perfect energetic vibrations, the energies that you need most personally right now in this moment. The angels are with you. A large group of angels stands around you in a circle of healing light. Two angels step forward first. Archangels Chamuel, the angel of love, and Haniel, the angel of joy. Together, these angels channel their light and their presence into your heart chakra, connecting you with a stream of heavenly consciousness and energy that represents pure love. Breathe the consciousness of pure love in. Letting it flow into every cell of your body, awakening and illuminating you with higher awareness of unity and love, awakening empathic consciousness at every level of your being. Every breath you take charges your energy body with this powerful light and consciousness. As you breathe this energy in, silently think the following truth with your inner spiritual voice. It is safe for me to be fully conscious. It is safe for me to be one with the wisdom of empathy. I allow myself to awaken my empathic gifts now. And breathe deeply to continually assimilate these powerful vibrations. As Archangel Gabriel, the angel of nurturing and communication, steps forward, along with Archangel Jophiel, the angel of beauty. Together, these angels are channeling in nurturing light. Feel as a soft blanket of nurturing and sweetness flows around you. Feel all of your spirit aligning with the beauty of life. Dialing and attuning your empathic consciousness into the frequency of hope, beauty, nurturing, and fulfillment. And feel as Gabriel and Jophiel's light wraps around you many, many times, like a safe cocoon, blanket of healing. Your empathic consciousness awakens your natural and innate ability to heal. And so Archangel Raphael is stepping forward now. Gently he holds your hands as soft waves of luminescent emerald light flow into your hands, moving up the arms and into your heart, through the heart and into every extremity of the body. Feel as healing wisdom awakens within you. As you become more highly and sensitively aware of how to be in perfect alignment with healing. That beautiful emerald light becomes crystalline, filling every part of you until you sparkle crystal clear from the inside out. Archangel Michael lastly steps forward, the angel of protection. He now places a powerful and beautiful shield of bright, sparkling white light all around you. Breathe this light in, feeling as this white light forms a structure of strength and power around you. Archangel Metatron joins Michael in channeling this structure, sacred geometric forms, forming all around your energy body now, holding space for your empathic awareness and your rootedness in peace. With your next deep breath, gather Michael's white light into your belly at your solar plexus. And then on your exhale, with control, send that energy out. A powerful bubble of light forming around your spirit, 360 degrees. White light wrapping underneath the feet and over the top of the head, grounding you in your power, sensitivity, fully awake as the gift that it is. With your next deep breath, silently affirm the following truth with your inner spiritual voice. I am one with my power, and it is safe for me to be one with my power. I choose to be grounded and anchored in my power and fully awakened empathic consciousness. Now. We're just going to take in one more deep breath, gathering the light and energy into the feet now, inhaling into the feet, and exhaling slowly with control as you send the energy out the feet, down into the earth, magnetically holding you in this energetic state right here in the physical world. And when you are ready, you may open your eyes and shift your focus back right here into the physical world. Thank you so much for that. That felt very, very strong. And as usual, it feels so good to connect with all of you in a group for that meditation, no matter when you're listening to this, even if you're listening on rebroadcast, we're still in the same spiritual space together. So now is our time for coming together for our angel readings. And I do see that some of you have already submitted reading requests in the Bring Me to Life chat. If you'd like to do so too, just type your request into the chat at bringmetolife.com/Sarah Hall, or you can also call or text us at 240-979-6366. Again, that's 240-979-6366. Today, I'm going to be working with the Archetype Oracle cards by Carolyn Mace. This is one of my favorite decks. It's just super straightforward, no nonsense, powerful, clear messages. So let's go ahead and see where we will go for our first question today. All right. Let's go ahead and begin with Robert. Robert says, I've been exploring and trying to learn more about how to function as an empath. I didn't know what that was until a few years ago, and after discovering what that is, I realized I have been dealing with feeling energy of others my whole life. I recently was laid off from my job of 15 years, and like many, I'm experiencing uncertainty. I feel like the angels have something to say to me today concerning my path, employment, and just current life situation. Can you help? Thank you so much. Thank you, Robert. Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm so honored to be connected with you. And I'm so glad that you were able to discover that you were an empath. That is key. I know so many people for whom discovering that was like a life changer. So life-changing to finally understand, why we function and feel the way that we do, and even to capitalize on that. So let's go ahead and pull a couple of cards for you. I'm going to pull some cards just about your overall life path. We're going to zero in on your employment as well, and just see where you're headed right now. Okay, before I even turn the cards over, I am feeling lots of guides around you. One angel that's actually coming forward really strong for you right now, Robert, is Archangel Gabriel. Gabriel is an angel of communication and is actually pointing to you in your gifts as a communicator. Gabriel looks to be guiding you in expanding your ability to express and show your true self, your brilliant ideas, and just put your voice out there powerfully in the world. So let's go ahead and turn over the cards and see what Gabriel would perhaps like to share with us on all of this. Okay. Yeah. Amazing. The first card that comes through is really affirming your sensitivity as an empath, first things first. The card that came forward is the Child of Nature. So when we see this card, it represents high sensitivity. When we have a kind of sensitivity in which we flow, even with the subtle movements in nature, that's a beautiful level of awareness. That's a beautiful, beautiful sensitivity. There's also a deep sense of openness and vulnerability. We could call innocence, the ability to take in the world. When we are in this state, when we see this archetype of the child of nature. Now, the interesting thing about this card for you, Robert, is that it actually showed up reversed. It showed up upside down. So what that tells us is that you are this child of nature. You are this highly sensitive person who's very, very, very aware of all of the subtle movements in reality, probably really, really connected to being in nature itself as well, or at least you benefit really well from being in nature. Because this card is upside down, it would show that there has in the past been something in your life that has caused you to sometimes feel off balance with that sensitivity and with that alignment with nature, with your harmony, with everything, with your well-being. And right away, I'm actually hearing the angels say that your job sometimes played a role in this. So that can be common for a lot of us, where our work life has just a level of demand or a kind of energy that we have to engage in that makes it very difficult, makes it a challenge to remain anchored. Now, over the 15 years that you did have in that job, I'm actually seeing that this was on purpose for you. In other words, this was aligned with what was spiritually meant to be for you in your life at that time. But the angels are now showing me an image of a hermit crab crawling out of its shell and growing out of it and needing to go to the next space. So, I know a lot of people have experienced some layoffs, some career changes, at the very least, as a result of our global situation that we're in right now. But the timing of this for your own personal life is actually a little bit even deeper than that. They're showing us that there's a spiritual alignment with this moving on from this kind of employment. Now, the next card to come forward is the Thief card, and it also comes reversed. So let's talk a little bit more about what this symbol means. Essentially, when we see this archetype of the thief, it actually represents wealth and support and abundance and well-being. It makes sense that this would come up at a time when you're experiencing a layoff, certainly, because, our jobs are what provide for us usually, financially. What the angels want you to know is that actually it's not just the surface level job that provides for you financially. That's not the real root of it, though that's a part of it. That's like a channel through which your support is, being channeled into your life. It's not the root source. That is not your source. Your real source can actually never be stolen away. Your real source of abundance and well-being, support, and so forth is the divine, is the force of life itself. So this message comes to you saying, do not fear. Essentially, when the Thief card is reversed, it shows that there can be maybe, some fear around, okay, well, what's going to be next? What's going to be my next step? Where is my source? Where am I going to find things, that will support me coming through? Your angels are saying, do not fear. Remember that source never stops supporting and flowing. It's literally infinite, and you're anchored into it all the time. And when you align your awareness with that, you allow yourself to receive and experience this alignment with constant and infinite flowing support and well-being that's always, always, always there. So they're showing us that right now there's actually a big spiritual kind of confrontation with that, which we could almost say is a gift. Yeah, it's a challenge. Certainly, I totally understand that. But the angels are saying it's also a kind of opportunity right now in your life to confront your relationship with Source at this deep level and to find that it's unconditional. It's not based on, the outer conditions of one's job and, that kind of thing. So I pulled some final outcome cards that are going to tell us just a little bit more about what's up next for you on your path. First of all, we actually have the damsel card. The damsel represents innocence and openness. So this is your angel's way of saying, stay open to the possibilities. Don't shut off any possibilities. Don't let any thoughts kind of come in and say, well, oh, this might not be possible for me, or, oh, maybe there's a lot of doors that are closed right now, or, oh, maybe it'll be hard for me to find the next job or to start the new project or do the next thing. Don't let any limiting thoughts come in. This card that represents innocence here, the damsel, is inspiring you to rely on being very, very open, to rely on yourself and the belief in yourself that anything is possible for you. So that kind of completes the big spiritual mission that your soul signed up for in this part of life right now, where you're bringing to surface a deeper, more powerful sense of being one with, again, source and support unconditionally and believing in it without limits, without limited thinking. I pulled a little bit of a more of an outcome card for, okay, what happens next with regard to your career? What energies are they leading you to kind of look at next? And you got the trickster card for that, which is actually really cool, because essentially the trickster card tells us always that it's time in your life now to transcend convention, to get off the beaten path. You are not necessarily fenced in with just having to follow the traditional, tried and true beaten path in your career field. Your angels gave you this card because they want you to know that now you've got a really important, beautiful opportunity to be able to branch out and do something really, really, maybe independent. Maybe something that has you as either an independent contractor or starting your own thing, working for yourself, some other kind of project. There's a sense of you're not going to do the necessarily the predictable thing next. You're doing something that is more exciting. Something that really, really, actually, to me, when I tune into the energy of it, feels very fulfilling. And by the way, it seems like it involves your gift to communicate and actually to lead through the ability that you have to communicate, very clearly. So keep calling on Archangel Gabriel, who's so close to you through this. I'm also seeing Michael and Uriel around you. Call on these angels. Keep taking steps, and now just start thinking outside the box. Certainly don't think limited about what's possible as you explore what's out there in the world. Really, really get creative with it. The sky is the limit for you, and you've got a great opportunity to put some deeper ideas that you might have into action in a big way. So thank you, Robert. Okay, let's go to our next reading. Okay, we have Fantasia. Hi, Fantasia. It's so good to connect with you. Fantasia says, my dog Sasha died unexpectedly a week ago today. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, my dear. Fantasia says, any messages from her? I'm devastated and heartbroken and praying for signs from heaven. Thank you so much for reaching out, Fantasia. I'm so glad to be connected with you. Right away when I tune into your energy, your dog is actually still really present with you. In fact, from your dog's perspective, she almost feels like there's hardly been a shift. Sort of like, well, I'm here. I'm still just as close with you, but I'm maybe even closer with you than ever before because I have no physical limits now. They're showing us that she's still curled up around you a lot. Did she have a lighter colored fur, maybe like a golden or a white or some kind of, I'm seeing a lot of light around her, light colors around her. So that's why that makes me ask that. One thing that she's saying, just tuning into her for communication, is that she's still going to be finding ways to make you laugh. It looks like she was really, really good at, bringing a smile to your face, making you laugh. Did she ever do things where she would just kind of get up and maybe bark at something and you couldn't tell what the heck she was barking at? Like just all of a sudden just had this instinct and it was like, oh, I'm picking up on something. Well, she's always been, she's a little bit of a goof, and I feel that it's funny. Her little antics are kind of funny. So she's going to still make you laugh in that way. But also she's showing us that she was tuned in to spiritual energies too, which I wouldn't be surprised if you were aware of, because I can sense that you're spiritually sensitive too. But yeah, she was oftentimes, just aware of spiritual energies that were around you, and shows us that even now to this day, she still helps to connect you with the spirit world. She helps to connect you with your spiritual sensitivity, helping you to feel strong, grounded, and protected in that spiritual sensitivity, just as she always has been. The angels are also showing us that you and Sasha are soulmates, definitely soulmates. We oftentimes with our pets, we have soulmate contracts. As you know, we all have many, many soulmates. And our pets are a certain kind of soulmate where they will oftentimes agree to sign up and be companions to us for a time in our lives where they actually are so powerful as guides in our spiritual growth. And that's exactly what Sasha does for you. And I feel her at a very, very high level of consciousness around you too. So just as I see her, almost super grounded, like feels like she's still just right there with you all the time, snuggled right up next to you. I also feel her more awake and aware of heaven. So she's in heaven simultaneously. And I do see that on the other side, she's actually aware and connected to what appears to be a grandmother of yours on the other side, who also watches over you. So you have both of these two as really, really strong guides right now. Sasha's showing us a connection with your grandmother. Your grandmother appears to be holding something in her hands. It looks like it could be maybe like knitting or crocheting or sewing or something soft that she's holding in her hands. So I don't know if she maybe would have done that in her life. But I'm feeling Sasha just sort of like laying her head on your grandma's lap, watching what she's doing and, getting playful with her. And sometimes it's like I'm seeing her holding the string in her mouth and pulling at it and that kind of thing. So still very, very playful. And both of them together are just sending you pure, pure love, absolute heavenly bliss. So beautiful. So, 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 so beautiful. Sasha's major message that she just basically wants you to get across to you more than anything is, I love you. I won't leave your side. I'm always here for you. And remember to laugh and smile. Remember to laugh and smile. And I'm sending you hugs. And by the way, she's wearing like a bright pink color that has a lot of sparkles on it, like little sparkly rhinestones or something like that. So I'm seeing her looking pretty fabulous. Maybe that would have been her personality to want to be fabulous and show herself off. But Sasha's an absolute joy, and thank you so much for bringing her to us today, Fantasia. I'll be sending you my love and prayers and angels as you work through this adjustment. I know how challenging it can be. Let's go ahead and just take in one more quick reading as we come close to the end of our time here. We have a request from Chyna. Chyna says, I'm working on healing and spiritual growth within myself and find there are times I'm discouraged and stuck. How do I overcome these blockages? Thank you for sharing your messages. They're always encouraging and enlightening. Oh, thank you so much, Chyna. You're so kind. Right away, I'm just going to tune into your energy, and I can feel that you are very, very spiritually sensitive. You definitely have that in spades. The one thing that I'm actually feeling with regard to being blocked, with maybe a feeling a little bit stuck, is that you've got past lifetimes in which you learned that it wasn't always safe to be fully open and connected to your spiritual gifts. I'm seeing lifetimes in which you were taught that you didn't want to be different. Lifetimes in which there was sometimes persecution, for having spiritual gifts, for having the sensitivity that you had or expressing and sharing those things. So what the angels are saying is that a next step for you that would be amazing for your spiritual growth is to do a little bit of past life healing work. Heal and release the fears of the past or any limited beliefs that maybe came from the past saying that it's not safe to do this. And as you heal and let that go, you're going to see that really, really, really helps to open things up. One more really fast sort of supercharged kind of thing that will help you with opening your gifts too, the angels are saying, to help us get out of our heads or get out of blockages and just into the instincts and the gifts, is to focus on service. I see Archangel Michael and Jophiel really, really close with you, so you can call in both of them. They're very much helping you with your spiritual growth. And they're showing us that when you focus on service, when you focus on how may I use my spiritual gift to heal, to bring more love and light into the world, then you'll see that it just goes to a different level. It just uplifts. Just focus straight on how may I serve, how can I help, how can I heal, how can I give? And the gift just sort of, it's like it jumps into this super highway of serving and loving and giving. And the ego has to get out of the way, the mind and the overthinking and all of that. It just has to get out of the way because we're focused on helping. So then we just instinctually start to trust what we're getting a little bit more. So that's what the angels give to you today, Chyna. And definitely tune into Michael and Jophiel. I see actually lots more angels and guides that are around you too. So keep calling on your guides. And I'm feeling actually that they'll be working with you a lot in your sleep. Forthcoming, especially around that Lionsgate energy that we have coming up at the beginning of August and then lasting through the month of August. So that should be a really great time for you to engage in things like meditation and other things that just help to really open up your spiritual consciousness a little bit more. Those past life blockages, any limited thinking, you're going to see that starts to melt away easily. The more and more that you expose yourself to the light and the truth, and spiritual practice will help you do just that. So thank you so much, Chyna, for offering your question today. And thank you so much to everybody else who submitted requests. I want you to know that I will be back again next month right here on Bring Me to Life Radio on Thursday, August 6th for Angel Hour. That's the show where I'll be doing the whole hour of angel readings for you. And then I'll be back again on August 20th, same time, same place, for the next episode of Through the Eyes of the Angels, where I'm going to be teaching you very in-depth things about manifestation. I'm so excited for that. So be sure to mark your calendars again, August 6th and August 20th, same time and place as today. If you'd like to keep in touch and get the latest announcements on my upcoming Empaths Empowerment Healing program that I mentioned, then do definitely keep in touch on social media and join my email list. Again, if you want to, you can scroll up into the chat area where I shared the 2 links, so you can find more information on that there as well. I also really love to hear from you guys, so be sure to leave me a comment, a like, or reach out with any questions that you have. And I just want you to know that I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you so much for tuning in, and know that I'm sending you all of my love. Bye.